All right, and we are back for our last little bit here before we end the show. You've been successful in your biker bar thing, and you've learned that the main gang, as far as the organization of the gangs, is going to be in Warsaw. Granted, whether or not that is specifically the vampire group or not, hard to say. It's like probably like the founding group, almost, of the entire gang is the one that is. And rumors are that the name that you said is the founder who passed away. Which, probably she didn't, but you never know. Or you don't know how much of that is actual rumors and not. So what do you want to do? You're going to head for Poland? By now, though, Dawn, you will get a message back from VtM. She'll say that if you're planning on meeting with some of the keui-jin in this area, she can arrange it if you want to come meet with them. They originally came into Tokyo, but have actually settled into one of the smaller cities in Japan. Give me a second to get my map, and because I'm going to forget the name of the city, because I can only remember a few of the most large ones rather than the ones I'm looking for. Oh, that's the only one. That is not a good map. Okay, Nagoya. It's a medium city. Still a big city, but not quite as big as Tokyo or some of the other ones. They've currently settled into Nagoya. If you wanted to, she could meet you in Tokyo, because that's a lot of where the like the largest of the clans of the sun are organized. The clans of the sun being the keui-jin of Japan. Let me just let you know that there. Yeah. So. You have that now that you know about. Are you going to head for that, or are you going to head for Poland first? Because you were told main gang should be moving into Warsaw in a few days. And they will be hanging around that area for a while, so you don't necessarily...
But not forever.
But not forever. So what's the plan?
I feel like if we know they're gonna be there in a few days, we should go there first, as much as I would like to see VtM.
Okay. Are you going to arrange then for maybe meeting at a certain point in time in the future in Tokyo or in Nagoya? As I said, a lot of the leadership of the keui-jin will be in Tokyo, but that doesn't mean they're not everywhere. And there's probably some keui-jin within Nagoya also. Because the point of you talking to them is only to get you a door in the foot with Korean ones too. It's sort of like, hey, you're friends with our people that we know. Can we get a meeting with these other dudes?
Yeah.
Because it's you're doing the telephone of friendships. Or do you want to hold off on arranging that until a little later? Because you just have to let her know when what the plan is.
Could arrange it for the next week. I feel like that would give us plenty of time. Or maybe 2 weeks.
Well, we don't want to spend too much time waiting, so I'd say a week is probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and then I assume you're going to head to Poland.
Yep.
Alright. Let me look up. Okay. All right. So, oh, Jesus. That is a city that I cannot pronounce the name of. Modern Poland is a kind of a little bit of a battleground. There's a Camilla Prince, a Toreador, called Hannah Busek. She doesn't have complete control of Warsaw, I'm going to say, as Poland is a battleground country between the Camarilla and the Sabat. There was basically a devastating battle in one of the regions just recently between the Sabat and the Camarilla. Both sides basically lost kind of battle.
Right.
But the Szczecin, the city of it, is currently under, like, I would call it Semice control, though the person that's in charge of it calls themselves a prince.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah, there's a Semice that's not part of the Sabat, which has named Hidion, who has a lot of influence here. And the and then part of the Oradea League, which is a group of old clan Semice elders that have managed to maintain themselves against the Sabat in this region. So one of his child is effectively in charge of there, and it, it seems as though maybe that he was influential in making sure that both sides destroyed each other, kind of thing. That he influenced the battle. Unknown whether he started or took advantage of it, but it's obviously that in the end he took advantage of it. So that's kind of things as they are now. So you will have to with the Prince.
Do we
of
want
Warsaw,
to meet with him, or do we want to just kind of slide in under the radar?
Because Hidion is probably the most influential in all of Poland. You're probably going to want to meet with the Toreador Hanna Buzeska, because she's the Prince of Warsaw, as it is. And the kind of region as they've kind of coalesced. But beyond that is up to you who to meet. Because right now, you do know that this gang will be coming in. Because again, like, the city is Poland's a war zone. There's a lot of people vying for control of here. And that's why the Sabat have their presence here, and that's why the gang can just move in. And maybe that's why they're moving into the area now. There might be another offensive on the plan.
Yeah. So my question was more, do we announce ourselves, or do we come in and...
Well, you are meeting with someone from the Sabat, which is dangerous.
Exactly.
So it's up to you if you want to be... if you want to try to go completely under the radar and avoid Brusek. If you're going to go completely under the radar, though, I would say you probably don't want to come into Warsaw. You probably want to go into one of the more neutral cities. You might want to go into Szczecin and contact the Oradea League, and get contact with them, because they're not going to care as much. If you tell them, they've been opposed to the Sabat, but if you're like, we're just meeting with someone in the Sabat that's from the Cappadocian clan. You're not the Semice. They're not related to them in a way. They, how well they will take it. But again, like, it's hard to fly under a radar even as a vampire because there are like eyes on plenty of places. So
Fair. I was more saying because one of the big reasons to announce yourself to the prince is so that you can feed there.
yes, and you can do things there. Then people will be like, if something goes wrong, you'll have the backing of it. Because if something goes wrong, they will super throw you under the bus and probably get rid of you, kind of thing,
Okay. Well, Dawn, what do you think?
Feel like we don't want to get thrown under the bus. Probably should just kind of sneak in.
All right. Emil?
I mean,
You are coming from Romania, so that's not far overall from Poland. Yeah. So, like, when you came from Turkey, it was like a 1-hour plane ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably like looking at the distance here, it's probably like a 2, maybe 3-hour plane ride to Warsaw directly. You could probably get a smaller plane for overnight, like maybe something more private, like maybe like rather than a jet or something, you could probably get a
Like charter a small plane flight?
yeah, and go into a smaller airport if you wanted to really fly under the radar.
Okay.
You would probably have to arrange stuff in Bucharest to get in there, like like passports and stuff. You'd have to probably arrange it ahead of time, or something like that. So it might be like a day at least or 2 to set that up. But if you wanted to go under the radar, you could then and just kind of sneak into the country that way. You'd officially arrive using your like kind of fake IDs and stuff, as a private kind of like traveling across the country borders. But again, then you're not like going into a main city where people might be watching, and there might be people with auspex watching.
Makes sense. I mean, I figure we're going to a biker bar to talk to people, and then we're pretty much intent on just leaving again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if there's no record of or no official record of our travel to Poland, that might be for the best.
Okay.
Although obviously we'll let Helena know.
Okay. What are you telling her? Like, what exactly are you telling you about the entire thing?
Well, I mean, we've told her that... Actually, we haven't checked in since we started doing the stuff.
No.
Well, I guess we should probably start with telling her that we're, we've... Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Is this Helena or Charles?
We'll say you'll get Helena.
Oh, we are making progress. It appears we have a possible avenue into the next step of our journey.
Okay. It'll be very easy to travel from Romania to Poland because they are both part of the European Union.
Nice.
Yes. I was looking into that just to make sure.
Yep.
I'm like, yep, okay.
We found an avenue towards our goal. It involves meeting with a Sabat biker gang.
Interesting and dangerous. What do you need from them? Will this get you killed? Which I'd rather not.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Will this get you killed? Because I'd rather have you not have that happen.
I am firmly on your side on that particular issue. That is, of course, I imagine why you sent Emil and Dawn with me. So I don't imagine it will get us killed. We've already made contact with some underlings of the biker gang, and they seem to handle things very well. So, it's just a meeting to invite someone to a family reunion, apparently.
Do everything you need to do within your purview, as long as you approach things not under the guise of being part of the Camarilla. If you stay on your own. But be warned, this is going beyond the safety net. I know that you had mentioned that your friend, Samuel, had been kidnapped by one of these gangs. I assume that either this is related to them or because they might know something related to their dealings from before you're talking to them.
Indeed.
I know you miss him, and I hope that he would be able to retrieve him. But be smart about all this, please. Nathan?
Of course.
I shall leave it at that.
All right. I will give her the details of, like, where we will be. And approximately when.
Okay.
So that she is aware, but with the understanding that she is not sending anyone for us. All right. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm not overly worried.
Okay. Alright. So how are you getting into Poland? Are you going in, like, how are you traveling to it? Again.
Doing the chartered little flight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charter little flight. Okay. Then you'll charter a small flight from like a small airport into Poland. Come into like a small backwaters airstrip somewhere. You want to arrange for a rental car, or are you gonna like take whatever like kind of taxi bus service into Warsaw proper from there?
Oh, we're gonna do low key all the way. It's gonna be a taxi, bus, or whatever.
And are you going
passes
directly
for Uber.
into Warsaw, or maybe going to be on the outskirts of Warsaw?
I mean, I imagine we're going to the biker bar?
Okay.
Or to that area.
You do know
Is
of a
that,
biker
like-
bar that's associated with the gang in Warsaw. Whether or not the main group is currently there, the one that was talked about, you don't know.
Right, they were supposed to be at whatever biker bar in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
That was the word. That was like kind of the scuttlebutt. So it's like,
Sure.
if you need to talk to someone them that's like in high up, that can,
Yeah.
lead a group-wide decision or something like that, that's the way to go.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get a motel.
Okay. Are you going to head into the bar then, right away? Or...
Probably set up at the motel first.
Okay.
Emil, what can you tell us about this place before we actually go there?
What did they tell me?
About this place?
I was talking about the
Yeah.
computer.
Oh, oops.
Ooh.
One second. There we go. Continue. I accidentally muted my headphones.
When you looked into this place, you just knew it was another place that they hung out with, probably similar to the one in Bucharest.
Yeah, I don't know much, but the higher ups are going to be here. So
No. I was asking you to look things up on the computer.
Oh, I will do that.
Don't worry, I've got us a fast track in, I say as I put on my jacket.
Yes, you
Excellent.
definitely do.
Yep. I hope I don't have to sing again.
So what
What do I find out?
what's everything you're looking into? Let's put it that way first.
Sing?
Yeah, basically just the bar, kind of just what, and potentially if I can find out, maybe who runs it, who maintains it. Is it like associated with the gang, or is it more just a bar that they visit?
Yeah, it is actually a bar that's used primarily by the gang. It seems as though that this one here tends to be a little bit of a hub point. There seems to be a gang out of Warsaw that uses it frequently, and they oftentimes invite other gang groups into visit and stuff. When they come into the city or pass by the city, they will oftentimes visit there. It happens a couple of times a month. Probably a group comes in. There's usually a big celebration. They hang around for a couple of days, and then they head on. Sometimes, if there's business that needs to be done that requires multiple groups, one might come in from somewhere else to help out in Warsaw. You'll also know that a lot more people speak English here in Poland than others. I will say, probably about 3 in 10. Because 30% is the amount that I found in this search. Doesn't mean I can't use an English to Polish translator. Woo! Let's butcher Polish next. As for currently, you can probably, with that number of successes, you can probably look into police reports and stuff like that. No, there's only the normal gang that usually hangs around there, and the Warsaw and the nearby regions is the one that's in there right now.
Alright.
This particular bar is run by the leader of this kind of group that hangs around Warsaw. So it's a less nomadic group of the gang. And that's why he invites other leaders and stuff in when they come and stay.
Okay.
So, they haven't gotten there yet. You're not sure how many days it's going to be, but Emil, you actually, if you want to, with that number of successes, I can say you can keep an eye out and let Nathan know when they're coming in. You can either go in there now and get an initial connection, or wait until the main group comes in and then go in. Emil, you could let them know when the other group is coming. You have enough connections with cops paying attention, large groups of bikers moving in, that it would be noticeable when they do.
Yeah. Is there... You said it's a little bit more permanent of a place for this gang, so...
Yeah. And again, I'm using it very loosely. There is, it is one big gang organization, but then there's these, lesser gangs, so this is,
Yeah.
The Warsaw group is always kind of there. The main group will be coming in one of these days,
Got it. Okay, so should probably wait for the main group.
Okay.
Well, what was your cover story again?
We were had a message. We were here to deliver a message from an English gang called the Nightwalkers. I figured that would cue in anyone who knew what about vampires to pique their interest a little bit more.
Perhaps you could go in and make contact as a messenger, as that would certainly be a reasonable expectation.
That's fair. Don and I could go in again a bit early and just scope things out and just say, but I feel like we'd be more likely to run into vampires when the main group arrives, would be preferable.
Agreed. But becoming known makes others relax around you, usually.
Mm-hmm. And there might be another vampire already there, making sure nothing's happening before we arrive.
Man, you had me look up England biker gangs and some of the craziest shit that actually happened in real life. because the Hells Angels and the Outlaws are in England, and it was left to fight over them after a deal was struck at the end of the Scandinavian biker wars of the mid-90s. I'm like, that's a thing that actually occurred.
Well.
And the Rebels, Australia's largest motorcycle gang, has been expanding into England. Great.
Oh my god.
My god.
I'll
Yeah.
go join a biker gang, I guess.
Join the rebels. Travel the world.
Yeah.
Apparently. This was 2013 that I found this article on it. That freaking... I just like the Scandinavian biker wars of the mid-90s.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's the way to go.
Anyway, before you go either right now to the bar or, like, wait until, like, the other group stand up, we're kind of at the end of our time, so it's probably a good point in time. Oh, God.
Indeed.
Scandinavian
I'm so ready.
biker wars of the mid-90s. That's a sentence I was not even thinking of seeing. And this is The Guardian.
I'm just gonna
It's a real
gonna have to
newspaper.
No, I know. I'm just going to have to steal that line from somewhere. It's for use for somewhere else.
Jesus. So yeah. We didn't get quite
I think
as
you're
much...
going to have to use that next week when you say, yeah, we're a little group that sprang up after the Scandinavian biker wars of the mid-90s. Oh, man.
You know, you could be a few Americans that, like, moved to England and didn't want to be part of, like, the Hells Angels Outlaws War and, like, you know, found some British friends and now you're trying to, like, maybe expand into Europe, you know, and be, like, European, you know, like, Brexit may have happened,
insomnia.
but we here in the English biker gangs want to be brothers with our, like, European cousins.
And we all have insomnia.
Yeah.
Permanent insomnia. But, you know... I mean, I'll pretend The Guardian's a real newspaper. I have no idea. I don't know what's a real newspaper anyway. It looks real enough.
Well, The Guardian is a real newspaper. Some of the stuff they come out with is absolute bollocks.
That's most newspapers nowadays, though. So.
Yeah.
But this was exciting. Nothing happened, but it was exciting enough. You met with a
Maybe nothing
Oh,
happened.
no.
We succeeded in one guy.
You met with a Methuselah, and then Dawn befriended a biker gang. I guess that's very
Yep.
important.
No,
Yeah.
the Mahatma, it said he was going to go to Cairo, so we have accomplished 1/5 of our mission.
1/7, technically, but you know.
I mean,
Some of them are in the same place. It counts as one.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and we're working on the hardest one first. Because that's how we roll.
We ever need backup?
Our
We'll just do
sandwiches.
biker gang. And then
Oh
we'll
my
send
God.
The German thugs. They'll come back and they'll buy zoo tickets.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, this is the best way to go, because if we fail at this one, we would have failed at the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, if you can finish this one up next time, you can head to Korea, or technically head to Japan and go on your Korean route.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, you haven't really looked into some of the other ones. That's fine, you know?
I mean, we're saving the Caribbean for a little later in the year when it's a little nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though technically, since I keep this up to date now, there might be a mysterious plague happening and travel might be more difficult, and then I don't know what the hell I'm gonna have you guys do. Hang around for a couple of months? I've been avoiding it, because I'm like, I don't know if it helps your storylines.
No, we've got a private jet.
That's true.
So we don't have to worry about as many restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I mean, how else am I going to get my rifle everywhere?
You do have a private jet. The question is, are you going to call from the private jet to get it to Warsaw, or are you just going to, like, you know, go back on the small plane back to Bucharest?
So how does COVID affect vampires? Because they don't have to breathe.
Well, plagues don't really affect vampires. At most, they can become plague carriers.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're just asymptomatic. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect you at all. It's just that, like, you could theoretically become a carrier of it. But, like, common colds and stuff usually doesn't really matter too much. Even this plague, because it doesn't have a huge mortality rate, doesn't matter. Things that are really bad, that they can become like carriers of, like bubonic plague from back in the medieval ages, or nowadays rabies. You forgot that Samuel had rabies.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So that's why he ate rats all the time, because he give people rabies.
Well, hey, do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm. He was nice. He could have not cared about giving people rabies, too.
Hey, you know, I always liked that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the smell.
Uh-huh.
And the pustules on the face. That
If his internet mysteriously gets better, maybe he could return. I'll have to talk to him again. Is your internet mysteriously better?
I think it might be getting better soon.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
He's getting
can hope.
ready. He's making a YouTuber/Twitch personality 2K game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in it. He had to ask my height.
Wow.
I know.
Nice.
I feel so privileged.
Not that we don't love you, Emil. You're great.
You smell a lot better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you like going hunting with Dawn.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, let's give shout-outs of people, where to find them, all that kind of jazz, as we kind of finish up today. Next week, if we're definitely going to join us then, we'll probably finish up here with the biker gang route and contacting Apatia. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And if it goes badly, we'll have Werewolf the week after.
Yeah.
Apatia is very, very obviously, when you look at her, because her skin looks almost kind of serpenty, and it's covered in tattoos. Like, she has this countenance almost of like a reptile on her skin.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were we given this information?
It is just known about her. Well, the thing is, she can appear as normal, but, like, you know, it's, what I say, when she indulges the great nigh grimaces of the legacy of her clan, she takes on the aspects of a state. Her appendages become serpentine, her face becomes a Phidian mask. Tattoos that cross-stitch her now scaled skin writhe with their own volition. Oh god, her tattoos that she already has just kind of, like, almost writhe with her skin.
That's actually pretty neat.
So, why don't we have, let's go around, let's start with Worm today. You can say what's going on with you.
Hi, I'm Diamond Worm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWorm or at DiamondWorm on Twitter. It's Worm with a Y. I mean, do you have, like, I actually don't watch your stream, I just have it, like, chat open. Do you have my, like, name below it? I don't know. Anyway.
I just have your people names above you. Yeah, so Meal's above you,
Okay.
Nathan's above
Yeah, so it's Worm
Dawn's
spelled
above.
with a Y. W-Y-R-M.
Yes.
I think I realized that when I saw your thing one time. I'm like, I should probably specify that. Anyway, or at DiamondWorm on Twitter. I stream on Fridays on my channel. Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific time.
Cool. And we're gonna do Carpe.
I am the Carpe DM, with the letters DM at the end, but I think it's in the chat. They spell it out. And that's where you can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, and also very, very occasionally on my own Twitch channel. But mostly, I'm here playing Vampire because I love playing Nathan. He's so much fun.
And then we'll have Jess.
I am Bubblegum Viking. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. At the moment, I'm currently raising money with a bunch of other people for the Bell Project. We are at $80,000 currently.
Dang.
And I have to read 4 Harry Potter books so far, and if we hit our final goal, I have to read all fucking 7. So, that'll be fun.
Have you ever read them before?
Oh, I have read them, but I'm gonna read them aloud on stream. I'm gonna have a little
Yeah.
fire in the background.
Oh,
I
that's
just didn't know if
Crackling
you've read them
noises.
at all before, because it was definitely a possibility.
Oh yeah. No, I'm British. It's the law. If you haven't, it's very illegal.
It's just... It's
You
part
won't
of
get
school
arrested.
curriculum at this point.
Yeah.
They start you off in like 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so myself, Tantus Dracovin, God, even with some, like, blackout curtains, like, you know, I switch the curtains, even if, like, I move over here, with this, like, sun at this time of day, it, like, really just gets me out. You know, like, it whites me out, almost. I stream here pretty much daily if you're looking for RPGs. Normally we have this one at 2 p.m. EST. Earlier in the day, which unfortunately today we missed, was Records of Evil. That was my fault. If you didn't see it in the Discord and Twitter, I mentioned, you know, I slept extra 2 hours than I was planning. Technically 3 with all my alarms, and through 4 alarms. So I really apparently needed sleep. If I'd woken up at least an hour earlier, we would have had some Records of Evil. But that's a D&D game, Lawful Evil, set in a modern-day version of Faerun. You've seen kind of what this one is. Other D&D games are on Thursday at 8 p.m. EST is Children of Wrath. That one is D&D meets Magic the Gathering. It's set in a Magic Gathering world of Dominaria. Grinding Gears, a Dark Matter game, where we're normal D&D characters in Dark Matter, which is a kind of Star Wars, Star Trek expansion to D&D. That's a perfect connection to it. You can use it. You can actually use a traditional character in Dark Matter. It won't make a difference. They just add a few like skills and stuff. And you get blaster proficiency if you're a monk from there. Kind of things like that. That makes it work very well. And I'll probably be starting up a few more games soon. You know, as much as I've been doing like gaming streams, I'll probably kind of cut back on those other than group ones. I don't know what my schedule is going to be, but expect it to change a little bit. I'm trying to move Twitch around to keep it, you know, like content that I can throw up onto the YouTube side, or stuff that I just like doing for fun to make myself more sane. I think that's what I'll kind of restrict it to.
Yeah,
And
more
we end with
sane.
the Serenades of Stream Niece.
Yeah.
She is just singing in the background. Yeah, look, like streaming at certain times is not so hard. You know, streaming with a group of people, extra not so hard. On my own, it can be kind of like, well, I'm talking to myself for like 5 hours about crap. Am I doing good enough? Anyway, with that serenade, let's get going. We'll be back next week. Everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane in this crazy time. You know, just stay all healthy and good out there. You know, with everything that's going on in the world.
And 6 feet apart.
Yes, 6 feet apart, with diseases, protests, pandemics, awful things going on. Just stay safe. You know. Okay. Anyway, till next week. Farewell, everyone.